It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Coming off of the high of that win, we are still celebrating International Women's Day. And tomorrow, we're putting the spotlight on extraordinary women doing amazing things in our country. And shining a spotlight right now is one woman in particular, Dayna Johannes, a young Cape Town-based female film director. Not only that, she's also a writer and a songstress. Now, this morning, she chats to us about her journey, beautiful journey at that, as well as the challenges and important conversations that she tackles in her film. So please help me in giving her a feel-good welcome. Pew, pew, pew. Dayna, good morning, welcome. How are you feeling? International Women's Day is tomorrow.
I mean, I feel like there's a lot resting on this. That's how I feel. And being in front of the camera is very weird for me. So I feel bit nervous.
Oh, no,
but
don't
it's
feel
all good.
nervous. You got this, girl. Okay, let's get into this because I want to know about your journey in filmmaking and also what initially drew you to the art of telling stories through film.
Ironically, I was in a music lesson with my vocal teacher. And he then asked me in matric, okay, Dayna, what you doing next year? And I said, I want to go into journalism. And he's like,
That's not it.
no go. I know you can write, but go into film instead.
Wow.
And I always had a passion for poetry and things like that and spoken word. And through that, I went to AFTER, did directing and writing. And all along, I just had the music thing in the background. Wow. And that's essentially where it stemmed from, and that I also knew that the stories I was seeing about my people were just the standard stock of gangsterism and baby mamas, baby daddies, so forth and so forth. But there's so much more to us, you know. We have different sectors that I think aren't touched on enough, and that's what I wanted and still want to highlight.
I love that because the colored experience is so vast. There's so much more to us that meets the eye. And I love that you shine a spotlight. What I find so funny is that one day when we see your movies on the big screen, it's going to be credits. Music, Dayna. Writing, Dayna. Production, Dayna. Directing, Dayna.
And I love to see it.
I love to see it. How do you also maybe incorporate your personal experiences into your films if you do that? I mean, considering you are a woman, you are a colored woman, does that show up in what you make?
It does. So during my time at varsity, my friends and I had this thing on the side. And whenever I would pitch a story to them, they would tell me, okay, so is it set in the past? Yes. Why? Because you always like doing things about the party. Oh, is it about a woman going through struggles? Oh, yeah, because you're always doing that, Dayna. It was always that type of thing. And they already knew I was going to come with a fresh angle, but it would be the same type of story because there's no new stories, essentially. We're all telling the same stories. We're just putting our own personal
take on it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And, I mean, definitely anything when it comes to the arts, it has to start within. And you have to know where your stance is before you can actually broaden it out and share your insight to the world.
I love that. I mean, that makes sense. As a creative, it does start within and then you birth it and hope that people will catch on to what, you know, you intend to tell. Tell us about Showgirl. I got to know more about this. Congratulations also. Let's get into the details.
So Showgirl, I technically am Showgirl, if I'm being honest. I spent 6 years abroad, 6 months abroad, apologies, and I was touring in Spain. And I was a professional vocalist there, and there, as much as it was interesting and fun and a whole new world, it was very stifling as well.
Wow.
So Showgirl touches on how showbiz and the music industry isn't always as it seems. Because if you look at my Instagram, if you look at my reels, you'd think I was living my best life in Spain. And yes, although I was very blessed to be put in that situation, there were many trials and tribulations happening behind the scenes.
Wow.
So Showgirl basically is about a girl who's in the backstage room, who's basically having this anxiety attack before having to go onto the stage and entertain this enormous crowd in front of her. And she has to leave all of that behind her because it's expected. However, you're just a person, you're human. So your personal feelings and your attributes and everything, you can't just turn it off. However, that is expected of us in this industry.
To show up and perform.
Yeah, that's our life.
This. Okay, I've heard you have an event coming up, so tell me more about it before we wrap.
All right, guys. So I have, and my partner who's not here, D&D Productions, and we have a show tonight at the Joseph Stone Auditorium.
Wow, out in Cape Town?
Yes, yes, it's in Athlone. Also very much coloured community, very much
Beautiful.
synced. So we have Rolene performing,
Sure.
we have Motive harmonizers performing, we have Celeste Reyer, we have Dean J. Smith as our host. Dylan Colmore is my co-founder, and then with myself as well.
Yeah.
So it's just gonna be a time to celebrate, to kind of unwind. Also, a lot of what's happening in our communities at the moment is violence, gangsterism. There's a lot happening. It sounds like World War III.
Right.
And I think it's just a nice time to see what can come out of our communities, despite having that around of us.
Yeah, rising above circumstances. I
100%.
absolutely love it. Oh, Dayna, we love you. We are so proud of you.
Thank you.
More women in film, please. We want to see
Yes.
this going forward. And speaking about, I know Zoe's standing by with the gents to tell us more about the top women in film movies you've got to be on your watch list. I wonder how many Dayna's seen.